guys around the house. Today we're looking at part 13 in my series of loft conversion videos, and we'll be doing to the rear of the roof exactly what we did to the front of the roof in an earlier video. We'll be removing the old slates and the old felt, we'll be putting some insulation board between the rafters, and we'll be going over the rafters with some new breathable membrane and some new battens. So there we go, you can now see the underboarding we did in an earlier video. We're now going to put some insulation between these rafters here to meet all the building regs. We'll leave a little air gap. We're going to keep the old lead on here of this roof because I'll be reslating this later on in the videos. This isn't part of the loft conversion, but I'll do all the roof while I'm at it. And you can see here again on this side, this is the rock wall that we put in an earlier video. I just got to bring that to the edge of the wall plate. You can see the end of the joist there, and you can see them sat down on the wall plate inside, which was all done in the dark before, so now you've got a good clear look. The other thing we'll have to do today, which I've just remembered, is just get some more screws down here into the wall plate and secure them through to the rafters, which should be easier on this side because we started off on this side, so they're all right next to the rafters. On the other side, where we did the joist overlap, they were by here, so you ended up with this gap between there and the rafter, which I had to fill with some 2x4. And there you can see the dormer from this angle now. You can see that hole for the Velux, you can see the ladder, you can basically see the whole side from the back of the house. So you can see how it's all taking shape and how we've levelled all these rafters. We've just got to level a few more rafters just down below that dormer now, just to make sure the whole roof is all lovely and straight, and we're plain sailing then. Just like we did on the other side now, we screwed all the joists down into the wall plates and we screwed all the rafters into the joist so nothing can move. These rafters can't slip and the joists can't move side to side. I just wanted to show you on the hip on the end of this house. As if you look here, we've just been cleaning all this out where the slates have come off, and we filled up about 3 of these of birds' nests, which is wedged right down in the corner here. We found some over the other side as well, and I know when I renovated the property we had them, there was a chimney on the end of this house which we completely removed, and it was full, about 4 meters down, packed tight with stuff like that. So when you see these damp issues and people saying cap your chimney over, repoint the chimney, quite often it's a trickle down under your flashing. You've probably got a couple of meters of this, and once this is soaking wet, it's like a sponge. You're not going to get rid of that unless you remove it and get some ventilation down it. So just something to be aware of. Like I say, you look down there, they've got right in there on top of the bricks, right down there beyond the house, and this is probably 20-30 years worth of bird nests here. But hopefully when we finish this, we'll get some soffits and fascias on with the fascia vents, and all this will be sealed up, so we shouldn't be able to get any birds in here. As much as I like them, I don't want them nesting in my house. Right, so we've just had a few jobs to do. I didn't actually film us doing them because we had to get on with them. But basically, before we felted this, we remembered that we had to sort out a few bits in this corner, a bit of underboarding. So if you come up the top here, you can see we've just underboarded this, and that was all done from the inside. If you remember on the other side of the house, you can see there we underboarded and then plywood. I'll go in and show you that in a minute. we've just put on here this OSB board. What we've done is discontinued, or ended if you like, the cupboard space by there. We'll then put the rock wool all in the floor here, like we did over on the other side in a previous video. And then we're going to put some insulation between these rafters, and then we'll go over the top then with the felt, and then obviously slates when we get a chance. And now I'm on the inside, so you can see what I was saying. If you look down there, I've underboarded with the insulation, which you can't see from this side, because then I put plywood over the top that holds it in, and that plywood is only 6mm ply, so it's a little bit flimsy, but it's all that is. It's just when you're using it for loft storage, it's just so you're not banging the insulation or banging the felt and whatnot. If you put too heavy a board on there, it'd just be adding more weight to the rafters, so it's pointless. So you'll never see that. It's just purely as a barrier, if you like, to stop your things hitting into the roof. Over there you can see the OSB board that I said we cut out just to end the cupboard, and then it's what we'll do on the diagonal sloping up like we did on the other side. We'll just put another piece of board, underboard, plywood, and then this cupboard is all lovely and warm and secure. Again, we've got to put rock wool in this later on, but we're going to do that once all the roof's done, because we really got to get this felt on now, because the weather's getting worse. We're approaching the end of August, and I've just got to get on with it because I'm running out of annual leave in work, and this needs to get done. So right, just so you get a closer idea of what we're doing, we've just put this board in between these rafters, which Pouse is doing one now. We put one there, so we're doubling up really, we don't need to do this, but we've put all the rock wool in here. This isn't going to be cupboard space, so the floor downstairs is warm, but we're making it like a warm space regardless. We may as well, belt and braces, so we're going to put all this insulation board between these rafters. As you can see down here, I forgot to mention earlier, we got the hoover on this. There was so much crap after we pulled out that bird's nest. So all the soffits, everything lovely and clean now. We know there's no debris in there going to be catching moisture, causing damp. And also, when we replace the fascias, we're not going to have crap falling all over the floor again. So it's worth having a quick clean up. It takes time, but probably worth it in the end. When you look down the end here, we obviously haven't got insulation board in here, because that is the soffit, that's outside. That is the outside wall there. And that there, everyone, is why you should wear good safety boots and not old flimsy Adidas trainers. If you look by there, that is the depth that nail has just gone through into the base of my foot, because I just lifted my foot up after that little girly yelp, and there's the nail. So now I'm going to go down and have a look at my foot, which is by there in my stripy socks, and see if we've got any bleeding. So there we go, there's a speck of blood starting to come from my heel and my foot. Do we take the sock off and have a look, or do we just get on with it?
Get on with it!
And just quickly before we pull the felt over, you can see the final job. We've boarded that, rock wool in this, and we've even gone belt and braces, board like the other hip, on the back of the cupboard there. So there's no way that's going to be getting cold. And now we're going to get the felt over. Right, so you should be able to see up here now. We skipped a bit, which I haven't put on video again. We had to get on with it. The weather was looking a bit grim, but we've got this bit done, we showed you earlier. And if you go up there, you can see we've got our felt going right across there. We just stapled that on. We're going to do the batten next. We're just doing the cheeks of this dormer. And that's it really. It's just getting the felt on, staple it where we can, keep the wind off it, get the battens over the top, get the batten spacing right. And I mean, once you've got your batten spacings right at the bottom anyway, it's just the same all the way up. You'll notice on this roof we haven't been using a gauge. You could just cut a piece of batten to length and just use the same one each time. Now the reason for that is we're running into the roof next door and it's semi-detached, so they've got to join up. Now the spacings on those is ever so slightly out, so what we're doing is actually copying the spacings on the other roof just to make sure that everything flows nicely, rather than just use our gauge and then you get over there and they all look out of sync. So that's the only reason for that, because I know a few people will probably comment below and say, why didn't you use a gauge? Well, that's the reason. So you can see now the cheek of the dormer there. We've got some felt on top that we just did yesterday just to keep the rain out, so we may well do that again. We'll have a look now, because we did it in a bit of a rush, but if anything, at a minimum, we're going to alter the valley slightly and make sure that's okay. Got a little bit to do between the chimney breast and this dormer, and then just run another row of felt on that. And once we've done that, hopefully all this bit is dry, so I can stop worrying about using a tarpaulin, and we'll just have a tarpaulin over the front then. When I say the front, I better move the camera to show you just over there, and that's my entrance in and out, and that's absolutely fine because that's all boarded up anyway at the bottom. Pouse doing some felt and some batten. We got Pouse inside doing some sawing. It's about 7:30 at night. It's getting late. It's getting a bit cold. It's blowing up, so we've got to get on with it. So if you take a look up here now, done all the battens across here. We've got this space we've left there for the Velux window. All the battens here, and to be honest with you, this one is right below the dormer, but that's just how the spacing worked out. That was more luck than judgment, so that's worked out great. We've done all this hip down here, so all our batten spacings. We've tucked all this felt under the old lead work and nailed that back down on both sides, ready for the slates to overlap. If you look up here, we didn't manage to see this on this side because we've done it already, but we put 2 boards under there, exactly the same that was underneath the old roof. We've shaped those here, and this is going to be our valley. Felt underneath over the top, and then what we're going to do is put lead in there, and then the slates overhang the lead. So again, it's belt and braces. You've got your timber, your felt, your lead, slates. All that water should come straight down the roof, no problem. You can see in the felt you've got your natural sort of sag below each batten, so if you get any ingress of water, it runs down those channels, not along the rafters. If you come up this side, you can see we're just going up the side here by the chimney. Big Pouse is just putting a piece of felt there. We've done all around the cheeks of the dormers, and again belt and braces. We've gone over the top of this, to be honest, but we put this felt down, then we put the cheeks over that felt, and then we've done another one over the top of that wraps around, but just make sure that everything's wrapped up nicely. And then we put one last one with one of my offcuts I had right across the front there. That comes out, so that is lovely there. You're not going to get any water going through there. And then if you look up over on the ridge, is what we've done when we did the felt on the other side. We left an overhang that's flapping over the other side of the roof. This side we've done, that's gone up and over, and then the other side will pull back over the top, but we've got to do this roof first here on this dormer, because this will go over, this one over there, and then that one over there, that one over there, so they'll overlap each other, and then again you'll get no water ingress, belt and braces. Right, so it's gone 9 o'clock at night now. We managed to get all the felt on. We've had a bit of a late one. We haven't quite covered up the window area, so Big Pouse is just sticking a bit of ply over there now with Pouse. We're going to have to do the same with the tarpaulin here over the front, but generally not a bad day. If I walk around here, you can have a good look now. I'm going to have to jump up and go and give him a hand now. So there we go, you can see we felted all the way down there. We've underlapped all my felt underneath the neighbour's felt. double nailed all his battens back down where we've undertucked it. We've double nailed all ours down there, and it's really coming along. At least it's getting watertight now, so it takes the edge off things. Say goodnight, workforce. Can't even get a focus on the camera, it's so dark. So there we go. We finished about 9:20 on a Friday. That's how dedicated we are to this job. So that's it for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, feel free to subscribe and press the bell symbol for regular notifications. So for more DIY, how-to, household tips and product review, please watch my other videos and don't forget to subscribe. I've been Pouse around the house. Ta-ta, farewell.